Okay, episode 2 of the Ramrod 250 build. Let me show you what I'm working on. I want to do the wing today, at least the right half, right hand side, and try to get the left hand done maybe tomorrow. So let me show you what I got. Alright, so I made another copy of the plans, cut that out so I have something smaller to work with. And this is what I'm going to use to build the wing on. It's just a, let me try to get it here. Just a piece of wood, piece of pine, 3/4 inch pine, got some feet on the bottom. Actually, my brother made this for me, so not my idea, but it's pretty cool. It's got a cork board, and then you can take your pins and just, when they talk about pinning the plan, the pieces to the top of the plan, that's all I'm going to use. So that's all ready to go. What I got to start doing though is I have to start cutting out the leading edge, 1/4 by 1/8 inch or 1/8 by 1/4, and then trailing edge, and it's notched right here, so I need to do that. I got to cut the spars. So what I have is a sheet of balsa wood 1/8 inch and a sheet of 1/16 inch, and I use a balsa wood stripper, balsa stripper from Master Air Screw. So it's just a it's got a number 11 razor blade, X-Acto blade in it, and you just spin this wheel. It's hard to do with one hand. Spin that wheel to set your depth or the width, and you just slice it along. So I will time lapse that, show you all that. I read the instructions here, some tips, how to do that, how to put it together. So that's where I'm at. So I'm going to get started on this, and I'll time lapse it so you're not watching all of this, and I'm going to just start building along. So center section, middle section, and a wingtip. So that's it. So all right, let's get started. All right, I'll show you what I got so far. I stopped the time lapse just so I can get you caught up on what I'm doing. So you saw me cut the trailing edges, and I notched them with a little file. I put the little file right here. So I just found it was 16-inch thick. So I don't know how wide it is, but that worked perfectly for notching the trailing edge. So you can see those. And right here, I did it all across. Cut the leading edge, you saw me do that. This is split where the dihedral joints are. So it's split right there, it's not all the way through, but I did pin the whole thing down just to get everything to line up. So you saw me do the leading edge, trailing edge. So once you get those pinned down, after you notch them obviously, then you're going to lay in the bottom part of the fake, what's it called, semi-rib? Hollow rib, whatever it's called. It's just 1/16 inch square balsa wood, which you probably saw me cut. That's right there. So lay those in first, and then you saw me glue. Oh yeah, so when I'm gluing, really thin super glue, it doesn't matter what brand, but see as I shake it, it's really thin. It's like water. And then I put a little bit on wax paper, and then I made this little tool. Not my design, saw it online. So it's just a piece of scrap balsa wood with 2 pins. Can you see it kind of forms a V? Maybe I can show it right here. See a V shape? And it's just capillary action, right? So as I dip this into the glue, watch. Right there. See how it grabs that little bit? And then when you lay it on the wood, see how it just, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it deposits one tiny little drop of glue. That's all I'm doing. So I use that little tool. So I went through and just tacked the front edges of the 1/16 inch bottom square piece of balsa, and then tacked it down here in the trailing edge. And now I just added this little support, 1/16 again. Grab some, right? Oops, sorry about that. 1/16, just this support here, and it just follows right on top of these 16th pieces that we put on the bottom, and it just follows right along the top. And you saw me, well, maybe you didn't see, but I had to just scoot a little bit of a shim under here, right? And just to keep that up while I tack that in. So just a little drop of glue, and that's all I did. I put a shim right there. These are all glued in, and that's all glued in, that's glued. So that's where I'm at right now. So what else I want to show you? Oh yeah, so I got this is going to be the center section, so you can kind of see the rib actually cut out pretty well on the laser cutter. You can see fits the spars perfectly, and it's got the little notch up in the front. You can see it right there, and that's going to tuck up underneath that little support. Right, look at that, perfect. And then here, I'll show you right here. Kind of hard to do with one hand, and the notch. See how that fits in really nice. Locates everything perfectly. And then I'll just slide this over, and this will be the center section. So that, I just want to take a break from the time lapse to show you where I'm at. I did glue the 2 pieces of 16th inch plywood together to form the supports for the dihedral, which one goes right there, right here, so that goes right there, and here's the other one, and right there, it goes right there. So, and these spars are notched out for that. Right there, you can see those will slide into right there. So that's where I'm at. So just want to take a break on that, get you caught up, and I'll keep at it. Alright, I stopped the time lapse again. Now I'm on the center section. I'll zoom in a little bit. I'll move closer. That's what I got so far. So I already made a mistake, which I corrected. If you can see, I'll point with a piece of balsa wood. When I added these little braces right here, I went all the way across. Well, I had to notch that for the dihedral plywood brace. So I had to go back through and cut that out, cut that piece out, and then I did glue it. I don't want to glue on this side, but it is glued right there. And when you do it, make sure it's flush right with the board, right? Because that, you can see on this side, hopefully you can see that, there's your one angle right there. So you want to keep it flush on one side, and then when the other wing comes out, you can kind of see it'll be angled. So I had to correct that. So I fixed that, trimmed it out up here. You can see that. I haven't gotten this far yet. So that was so far the only mistake that I made. Okay, so then what I did was I added the center rib first, slid the spars through, and then I had to add little shims under here, right, to glue the spars right there on the outer ribs. So I used some balsa wood scrap blocks just to keep everything square. Kind of see how I did that. So this is a cool design. You can kind of see now how this works. So open rib, I don't know, false rib, that's a false rib up here. These are the semi ribs on the top, but you can kind of see how it all goes together and what it's starting to look like. So it's kind of neat taking shape. So center section, I'm pretty much done with it. I glued up on this side. That side is not glued. Okay, so I'm just letting everything set. Yeah, not bad. So that's what I got so far. I will keep going on this, but I just wanted to pause the time lapse and give you a close-up view. But isn't that cool? Check that out. So, all right, keep going. All right, I'll show you what I got so far. A lot of time lapse, and sorry about that, but that's the only way I figured I could show you. So let me show you what I got so far. Well, as I move on, right? Okay, so you saw me do all the time lapse of this. So the center section is done. I did glue in the dihedral braces just on the one side, left the other side loose. No glue on there, so we can set the dihedral. And let's see, middle section is done. No, this is the right wing, okay, all on the right side. Middle section is done. I just finished up the wingtip, and again I glued the dihedral on this side and obviously not on this side, so none of these seams are glued. So this will come right off the board once I unpin it, but that's what it looks like. So the wing plate will eventually go on the end of this wingtip, so right wingtip, after I think you put it on after you cover it, so that won't be going on for a while. So let's see, got all that done. You can see all the false ribs, the semi ribs, so hopefully you can see kind of what this looks like. Pretty cool. And this is where I'm at right now. So this is what I'm going to do. I have to glue in the center section and the dihedral braces. These are the 1/16 inch plywood. You needed an 1/8 on this side. Didn't have it, glued them together. So that just, see how nice that sits in there? Fits right in there. And then I'm just going to glue this square just like I did here. So it'll be perpendicular, is that what it's called? Right to the edge of the spar. That's why I have a little spacer in there. Once I set that and glue that one, and have this one, and that'll get slipped in there and glued right at the halfway mark, just like I did here. And that's it. So center section is done. I don't have to make that, but now the left wing I have to do. So I'm not going to show you any of that. I'll just get it done because you've seen enough of the time lapse. The only thing is when you go to do this, because I have to pin it off on the right side, you got to flip the spars around, right? So as you're building the wingtip for the left side, this spar would be here, and then the semi rib would be on this other side. So just remember that when you go to build the left side, reverse this section, and over here you reverse the other section. So the spar will be on this side and the other spar will be flipped around. So you'll see it as you get going through. So that's all I'm going to do right now. That's it. Yeah, right, coming along, looking pretty good. So I'll keep at it. I'll get back to you once I get the left hand or left side of the wing done. All right, whew, finally got it all done. Let me show you what I got. The wing is done, but let me show you. Okay, let's see, so here's moved it out of the way. Center section is done. This was the right wing that I worked on, and the right wingtip. Now, when I mentioned you had to flip things around, so same plan, but here's the left wingtip. So see the difference? The right one was like that with the semi ribs up on the top, right? And I just moved it over to the other side. So that's all I did. So this is still pinned down. So it's just backwards. This is the open side, and so that's the left wingtip. I did the same here. I unpinned it. You can see this is the left side, and then the center was already done. So I'll just show you. Oh, the one thing I forgot to mention is that it's easier to put the little gussets in now. I was putting them in when I first did the centerpiece. I did it in after, but there they are. But it's easier to do it while the piece is pinned down. So that would be the only thing I would change, and that's how I did on this one. I'm just going to unpin this real quick. Right there, one more. It's probably glued to the paper. Oh, the other thing you can do, yeah, see how this is glued down? Take some wax paper and lay it over your plans. Normally I do that. I just got moving too quick. Got all excited about building this. Okay, yeah, see that? That came off right there. So there it is, left wingtip, and the little gusset is right here. So that's it. So the next thing I got to do is sand up the leading edge, round that over, and I got to look on the other plans to see if I'm supposed to see the trailing edge right here, if I have to thin that out a little bit. Looks a little thick to me. So that would be the next thing to do. Sand that up, sand the leading edge, trailing edge. I'll also go through and look for any kind of gaps. I don't see any right here, but if there's any gaps, I'll hit that again with the super glue trick. The other thing, I had a couple ribs or semi-ribs, right? Is that what we're calling those? Semi-ribs that were fighting me a little bit. Forgot to mention, you can use just the activator. This is just an off-brand. It doesn't matter what it is. And I use on a barbecue skewer. So just open it up, dip your stick in there, right, and just tap it. It's just, you don't even need a lot. It's not even a drip. It's just the fumes pretty much. And you can I put a little dab of glue on the end just so it holds the activator a little bit better. But there were only a couple ones that were giving me trouble, so I had to kick it. That's what they call a kicker, at least that I'm aware of, but it's activator. CA glue activator, so that's it. What else was I going to say? Yeah, so this tip will go, so what I got to do is, like I said, finish the leading edge, sand the trailing edge, check for any gaps, just tighten those up, and then get all this sanded and ready to go to glue up the dihedral. I think it's technically a polyhedral because it does have two angles, towards the root of the wing and then out by the tip. So I think it's a polyhedral, but on the directions it says dihedral. So that's it. That's where we're going to go with this. I'm going to stop with this episode number 2. So I'm going to let it go with this episode number 2, and who knows, number 3 will be finishing out the wing. You'll see it all sanded and moving on to the next step. I think it's rear stabilizer. I think that's the next thing. So anyway, leave a comment. Let me know if you've built this before, if I'm in the right direction, if I'm completely off base or out to left field. Let me know. I'm trying, and hopefully you're learning something with me. So anyway, I'm Bill Riccio, and see you in the next one.